Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we can't hear you. I don't know if it's only for me.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanatma. Yes, Prabhuji, we also can't hear.
Nilagovind Prabhuji, we can see you well, but we can't hear audio. We can't still hear you. We see you're trying to talk, but your voice is not coming through.
Maybe you can rejoin, Prabhuji, if possible.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Nilagovind Prabhuji, we see you now, but still no audio. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. No, Prabhuji, we cannot hear. We see your chat and video well. Oh, you cannot hear either? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nilagovind Prabhuji, it looks like you have joined audio also, according to Zoom. I think you can't hear us, so I'll type it.
Prabhuji can try only with the joining with the phone,
Yes.
just without video, right, Prabhuji? Prabhuji can join that.
Yeah, I'll check that. But video is very clear. It looks like it's something
Audio
with
issue.
the mute.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna.
Hare
Can you hear me
Krishna,
okay?
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry about that. Somehow the other laptop was not functioning. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Gita, chapter number 2, text number 13. Dehanosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara pratir dhiras tatranamriyate. Translation proper given by His Divine Grace Yeshu Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such change. Purport. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing of bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such change of body account for varieties of enjoyment or sufferings according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have spiritual bodies in their next life, or at least in the heavenly bodies, for superior enjoyment of material existence. So in either case, there was no cause for lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul and the nature, both material and spiritual, is called as dhira, or most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pungam langayate girim, yatkripatamaham bhante, Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. Krishna, from this shloka, begins speaking on the soul. Speaks about it in detail. Now, the Lord speaking about the soul for next 30 slokas. Soul, its properties, what does it go through? What are the characteristics? What is consciousness? Now a question will come. He could have just said in a sloka. Or he could have just said, Arjuna, not this body, but spirit soul. Why so much? 30 slokas? or such a detailed way of showing. Why like that? Answer: the soul cannot be seen, cannot be killed, cannot be cut into pieces, cannot be differentiated, cannot segregate. It's out of our perception. It's not out of our perception, but it is out of our vision. Soul can be perceived by the mercy of this acharyas, by the mercy of the spiritual master, but we cannot see. So, understanding something which we cannot see and perceiving something which we cannot have a vision, how can we put faith on that? How a sadhaka can put faith on that? We see pure souls, they give up everything from their life. Why? Because they're so much convinced that yes, and they don't fall under the category of bodily conception, because that is an illusory state. When soul is eternal, then body is illusion and a temporary state. But the so-called association of this world, let's say if somebody is watching a movie, or let's say somebody goes to a store or a mall, especially in summer, everyone is wearing small clothes because why? They are feeling hot. They feel comfortable wearing small clothes. Now, a moment a person would see that, why is he not connected to that? He's connected to that. A boy or a girl wearing small clothes are connected to that. Because that is visible to this vision. We cannot ignore that because we are seeing it. And not just that, the body is designed in such a way that the senses, they get attracted to that. Through that attraction, they get some little happiness also. Now, when Krishna is telling Dehino Sunyata Dehe, but on the other side, we see this body very beautiful, very attractive. You see our body very beautiful, very attractive. Others' body we feel attracted, and our body we feel attracted. Our body we feel that our body is great. We feel attracted to the other's body for some little happiness. But the entire bodily conception is itself in its illusory state. Now, why is Lord giving more importance to this? Because Lord and the Acharyas, they give more importance to the soul because that is where everything begins. Actually, that is the beginning. That's not the end. That's the beginning. A lot of people will say, oh, the moment you understand that you're not this body, you're spirit soul, you have attained for perfection. No, 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 Baba, that is beginning. That's why Krishna is beginning with the soul. He gave beautiful synopsis before this soul that how practically through that situation Krishna is actually explaining about soul. It's not like from where out of blue. Out of blue, Arjuna is thinking, Hare Krishna, how is this? You're bringing up soul now? Because I'm talking about Bhishma, I'm talking about Dronacharya, I'm talking about Duryodhana, I'm talking about all these personalities, and then you suddenly, all of a sudden, you brought up soul. Arjuna is not. Arjuna is neither thinking like that. Because Arjuna knows why Krishna is actually bringing that up. For example, if somebody tells us something, immediately the consciousness would react. It wouldn't stop there. It says, oh, why are you doing like this to me? Why? Because he's so much connected to this. We feel that "Hey, this person is really hurting me. Where is that hurt going? Is that hurt going to this body? a reason for that also telling. Is that, for example, somebody, office manager or neighbor or somebody else or wife or husband, they're telling us something which we cannot accept. Now, where is that acceptance or not acceptance going? Is that are you telling this hand don't accept? Or are you telling this leg don't accept? Or are you telling this eyes don't accept? Where it is going? It is going inside. Where is that? What is that inside? Somebody uses some harsh words towards us. Who is reacting? Is this hand reacting? No, it's not the hand who's reacting. Internal. Whatever internal reflections, whatever internal acceptance and rejections you are receiving, please understand, whatever happening is internal. That itself we are. Please understand, you are not this. If somebody is telling you are a bald head, it's not you, Baba. It's not you. Somebody is telling, oh, you have shika. Somebody is telling you have shaven up your head. It's not you. You're representing something. This body is representing something. We wear tilak. Why? Because this body is actually holding. There's a soul and a super soul sitting in one's heart. For that, we actually put tilak to represent that, because that is this. We are representing that actually. Because whoever would see that tilak, they will actually remember the presence of the Lord. The moment you say Hare Krishna, the moment when they are saying Hare Krishna, it is a representation. It is telling that you are this. So, when we understand this simple principle, dear devotees, you can actually see. For example, somebody is telling, I don't see this hand reacting. The hand would react. For example, somebody is telling you want to hit that person. I'm just giving an example. You don't hit, but I'm telling. If somebody is telling something, you are hitting, you are trying to about to hit that person. You're using that hand. But who is actually driving this hand? Is this hand itself is driving? It has been driven by consciousness. That consciousness is present because the soul is there. If the soul is not there, consciousness would not present. Because consciousness would travel through the soul, with the soul. It doesn't stay with the body. Now, the consciousness with the soul, the consciousness which is the property of the soul, which actually reveals the presence of the soul, that soul is sitting in this body. That's why somehow some words are coming out of this mouth, or somehow an action is coming or through this hand. But if this consciousness is removed from this particular body, this hand will not react. That means enjoyment of this material world is also driven through this consciousness. It is not independent of that. That means even the enjoyment, even the so-called material enjoyment is actually being orchestrated by the Lord. And this only spiritual master will tell. Otherwise these things will not perceive into our consciousness. Our consciousness is so dumb that it doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. Because since time immemorial, it has been away from the real thing, from the real state. That's why that is the whole point why Shravana is so powerful and important. Hearing from the right source, what happens is, authorized source, what happens is, the words which they speak, they actually go into our consciousness. For example, when a person really is hearing, then at any moment, through unavoidable circumstances, when he is about to do anything which he is not supposed to do, by the mercy of the acharyas, by the mercy of the spiritual master and the Chaitya Guru sitting in the heart, the Paramatma, they will tell through the consciousness, they will tell that this is not right. You are not supposed to do this. A moment who is little submissive to those words, Are, I just heard this, right? How can I do this? I heard this. How can I cheat Srila Prabhupada? How can I cheat his followers? How can I cheat Vaishnavas? How can I cheat my spiritual? How can I cheat Krishna? I don't want to cheat them. I don't want to take that road. That is not my thing. The mind is telling through my old impressions. See, the mind will also begin functioning when all of these things are existing. The mind, the intelligence, the false ego, it's all existing because of the presence of this particular soul. That is a subtle body which actually carries the soul. That means the subtle body is there, which comprises of mind, intelligence, and ego. That will actually drive this soul from one state to the other state. Please understand, when somebody is telling us something, we don't remember this, we forget this. Actually, we don't remember Srila Prabhupada, we don't remember pure soul, we don't remember our spiritual master. Why? When we begin thinking about that more, why we don't remember our spiritual master is because we don't have that deep connection or relationship with them. Now, how the relationship is also explained or enhanced or submitted, I'll tell an example. Is Indra directly or indirectly became a reason to kill Hiranyakashipu? Hiranyakashipu was somewhere else. Indra is somewhere else. Was he became a reason for that? He became a reason actually. Now, why he became a reason? Because he knows Hiranyakashipu is a very powerful personality. And Hiranyakashipu put him down effortlessly. Because Hiranyakashipu was a very powerful personality. Devatas were fearful with him. Nobody can dare to see him. He was that powerful. His power is unimaginable. That's why when Hiranyakashipu went to do tapasya, he went to find his wife Kayadu. Because he knows that Kayadu is pregnant at that time. And through which he wanted to kill Kayadu so that the child who is there in her womb will also be killed. Now that was the intention why he went. But Narada Muni, exalted Vaishnava personalities, Acharya, spiritual master, he comes and then he tells, no, this is not right. You are killing Kayadu is not good because there is a beautiful soul who is in her womb. So don't kill. Immediately he accepted. Even though his intention, his desire was to kill, but he changed his behavior. Through that change of behavior, after Hiranyakashipu was killed, he again received his kingdom. Now, why is that? Because he followed the words of Narada Muni. Please understand. That means that submission, that following the words, following their words as is, what happens is, what gives us is, it gives us so much internal strength, and not just that internal strength, but it actually invokes the mercy of the Lord, which exactly happened here. That means what is that quality which they are carrying? Accepting the words of the spiritual ministry of the acharyas. Now, what is that indicating again here? Now, why are we discussing that here? Because please understand, the soul is very powerful. When the soul will be powerful, when it is actually being given that natural, that means it has to be kept in that state. If the soul, the consciousness is being kept in that particular state, then naturally the soul will get that strength. That means it was already there in that state before. Now, when it is reinstated in that state, it will actually get its natural identity which is there before. Please understand that natural state which is there before with the soul, it will reinstate that consciousness. Because what is happening? Submission is a beautiful quality of the soul, which it was doing eternally. But somehow, due to a desire to enjoy in separation of the Lord, it cultivated another desire. What is that another desire? That another desire is the desire to stay in separation. Of whom? Of this, the Supreme Lord. Why? Because soul wants to enjoy in separation. Now, why it wants to enjoy? Why was he not satisfied? He just want to stay in separation. Was it not satisfied means did what is one thing. Let's say if we are living in America or in India. Aren't we satisfied means if a question is asked, are we satisfied? And everyone will say we are not satisfied. For example, if a person goes to Dubai, then he works for 15, 20 years, and then after 20 years of service, of work, if that person is been asked, are you really satisfied? He says that he's not. Because if a person has been asked in America, are you satisfied? He says he's not. No, if he's actually working, if he really wants to work, because when we are in college, we really wanted to work, didn't we? We felt that, oh, it's a big company. They came for on campus. It's great. Beautiful company. Let me get into that. We pray to Krishna only, pray to Krishna only. Oh, Krishna, please give that job. Wow, it's a big company, TCS, this, that, so many other companies. In India, wow, should get this job. Or I should go to US, right? GRE TOEFL, wow, because I'll be studying. And then what? I'll be working. That means initially, you were really happy only doing it, thinking about it. But what happened later? It didn't give a. We wanted to try. Because that is the soul property. So likewise, exactly in the spiritual realm also, the soul really wanted to try out something in separation of the Lord. And it was actually thinking that that will give him happiness. See, thinking one thing is one. That means if I do this, I'll be happy. The thought might be right, but the output might not be right. Let's say you went to a movie. Oh no, devotees don't go. I'm just giving an example. Let's say if somebody goes to a movie thinking that, wow, this is a great movie. But you went there, you understood, this is a blunder. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have watched this. Somehow I was attracted. This is how the materialism will attract. That means little inexistence towards the Lord. Please see, this is what we are. We don't want the presence of the Lord. We don't want to hear the words of the spiritual master. This is where we are. That means what is this state? What is this condition? What is this condition of conditioning? This condition of conditioning is to be not submissive. Now, what is that non-submissiveness doing? The non-submissiveness is actually taking us away, not to realize that we are not this body but a powerful spirit. Taking us away from that state. Or the clear differentiation we can actually perceive within our own consciousness only. We can see the difference. During the class or during the discussion, we actually really think about the soul. Oh, yes, not this body, spirits, yes. But the moment we leave, or during the discussion only, the consciousness is changed drastically that it falls again into this bodily state. Please understand. It's important what we are discussing. The consciousness which is there before, what is that? The consciousness is really, it's not matter actually, it's consciousness. That means it has a tendency to change. No, even though the body has a tendency to change, but it changes, but we cannot perceive the difference so drastically. Just we can perceive the difference in the consciousness. That means 5 minutes back you'll be great. After 5 minutes, you'll be morose. Now the body will change, but the change of consciousness is very drastic. It's very dynamic. The body is also changing, but it is little slow. But the consciousness, the change of consciousness is very dynamic, it's very fast process. All of a sudden you see happiness, all of a sudden you see dejection. When somebody tells us something, when somebody tells, oh Prabhu, you're a nice devotee, we'll be happy. Somebody doesn't tell us like that, we will not be happy. And who is telling us that you're a nice devotee, we want to have friendship with them. And then whoever is telling that you're not a good person, we don't want to have friendship with them. Actually, neither the things are not good. Because neither is not helping us. If a person is actually not discussing this truth, if a person is actually not giving importance to know this truth, there is no point in having association or discussion with those personalities. Because what is happening here, if the consciousness is changing so drastically, doesn't we see the change in the consciousness at the time of death? Or what is the guarantee that we'll remember the Lord at the time of death? Just like the consciousness is continuously changing, it will change. If I see a woman at that time, if I get a desire on that bodily plane at the time of death, you know what will be the destination of the person? Because just 5 minutes before itself, you are thinking about the Lord. But now you are not thinking about the Lord because you saw a woman, and at that moment you left the body. That means that this material nature is not that easy to understand. Process is simple, but it is not easy. If the consciousness is simple, if our mentality is simple, but to have that simple mentality is also very difficult. It's not easy to have simple mentality. Even though Indra was very difficult, but he has utmost respect to Nardavani. He was an exalted personality. Now what he did? He followed his words. He did not do anything else. Neither through his devotion Narasimhadev came. No, that didn't happen. Through the devotion of Prahlada Narasimhadev came. But by being submissive to Narada Muni, what happened is he got what he's supposed to get after that. Because just by that simple act, Lord is immensely pleased. Please understand, there is no any practice of pure devotion service also. Did he? No. Did he practice like Prahlad Maharaj? No, he did not. But still he got the benefit of retaining his kingdom. That means his desire is fulfilled. Now, even though we understand, even though that desire is not completely on a pure plane, but still, if you actually see, just by following the pure soul's words, that is what I'm trying to tell. Because if you follow those pure soul's words, then, array, this soul, what is the soul dear devotees? You can easily get this realization. But what Lord wants us for, what Lord wants from us is to that active submission to those personalities. 3 days we had a festival of, we have consciousness festival. Why am I telling consciousness festival? Is festival of consciousness. What is the festival of consciousness? That means consciously traveling, going yatra through consciousness. That means doing yatra, Krishna, like Krishna Katha through yatra, through consciousness only. Continuous 3 days, 7 hours, 8 hours discussion. I was mind blown. My mind was blown off. Sitting there for 8 hours every day and doing hearing. Wow. 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hour sessions. And attending morning program, Mangalarti. I was telling yesterday my rounds were so good. It's because of His mercy only. I was so happy chanting yesterday. Early in the morning, chanted my rounds. So beautiful. I was simply giving credits back to him, back to him, back to him, back to Srila Prabhupada. Through him, through Maharaj, back to Srila Prabhupada. Because without their presence, this life is nothing actually, devotee. We cannot understand what Krishna consciousness, what to speak of soul. So, can we see soul? We cannot see soul. If a person is appreciating in Zoom, you see that heart, but I can't see the soul. But that soul is perceived, is given us. When you go early in the morning, when you go in the morning and then see yourself in the face, in the mirror, you'll actually see these two eyes, nose, ears, face. But when you chant Hare Krishna, are you seeing that Hare Krishna? We're not seeing that Hare Krishna. It's a vibration, it's a sound, it's a subtle aspect. Just like a mind is there, the sound is also subtle. We can perceive, we cannot see. Likewise, I was thinking exactly, is this not the soul? Like this also? I cannot see, but I can perceive. Now, how do I perceive? Now, the more my more my materialistic absorption from this world is minimized, and the hearing process kicks in. That means the consciousness is actually meditating on that hearing process. For example, when I chant Hare Krishna, or hearing from the spiritual master, when our consciousness is kept on that plane, what are we doing? Do we require eyes? We just require ears to do that. That means what am I doing? The attachment from this material world is minimized, and the absorption in the spiritual consciousness is increased. Through that absorption, what is happening is slowly can't we perceive the presence of the soul, or can't we perceive the presence of the Paramatma sitting in that? Can't we perceive the presence of how our mind is actually really cheating? We can actually see that. We can really see this. This is mercy of the spiritual master. This is their mercy. That means the more external materialistic propagandas or materialistic agendas are reduced, I'll tell this beautiful thing, dear devotees, which I observed through me only, not somebody else also. If we have a habit of watching cell phone, just like let's say you have a message, you have to open up that message, and then you're seeing something. Now, what is happening is consciously, the consciousness is actually going there. The consciousness would go there, and then what happens after that is you put off you have seen the message for 5-10 minutes, and then you kept it aside. Now, what is happening after that is that 5 minutes is not the problem. The problem is after that, the consciousness will actually begin to think about that. The mind, the intelligence will begin to think about that, because the mind intelligence is not continuously given that higher realm. Please understand. The consciousness, the mind, the intelligence is not given that higher thing. That means it's the higher, this thing is not given to that. When this is not there, it will actually absorb somewhere else. If that somewhere else is a service to the spiritual master, that is great. But if that somewhere else is not service to the spiritual master, service to the actual, it is something else other than that. This is where the problem comes. This is where our absorption on a soul level is divinized, and then our focus to this material plane increases. Please understand, this is a very practical thing which happens in our life, in our consciousness. Internally, when our consciousness is not right, then what happens is we tend to react to others. We tend to find faults. And why we are tending to find faults with others is we try to see ourselves as superior. Here, Parikshit Maharaj, the moment he did that mistake of putting the snake in the neck of Shamik Rishi, at that moment, when he was riding on the horse, going back to the kingdom, through that step itself, he began to think, why did I do that? I never did like that in my life. What is he doing? That's an introspection. He's checking his heart. He's seeing, hey, why did I do that? I've never done that in my life. All of a sudden, I was thirsty before, but my reaction was not like this before. That means this is not something which I do regularly. That means this is a mistake which is done. That means, please understand, if a person continuously doing, is in the great state, is in an exalted state, moment he does a mistake or something which is not doing since his time and evolution, through the conscious, he's never done that, and now he is doing it. Then what happens is immediately when there is a change in an action or in a process in the consciousness, he wants to correct that right away. This is a pure devotee. That means what he is doing, he wants to correct that. He is ready to take the punishment, and then since that time he is continuously praying in his core heart and heart, my dear Lord, I need suffering for this. I have to suffer for this because I made a mistake. Here in this material world, when there is a suffering, when there is suffering comes, a person who has a theistic mentality, he would go to the Lord to remove that suffering. Now that is not devotion. I'm telling that he has some faith on the Lord, thinking that if I go and ask the Lord, he will remove my pain, because that removal of pain happened in his life before, or he has heard from his parents. This is a way of karma kanda, right? When that is done, then he goes to the Lord for that. Now, through that, what is happening? He is actually approaching the Lord. No doubt it is in a different state. Now, what is the real state? We'll discuss that also. Now, that thing is a different state. Going to the Lord for some motive. But the real thing, when one goes to the Lord for what? Not that, my dear Lord, please remove all these anarthas. My dear Lord, please engage me in your service. These anarthas, if you want, you remove. If that is an obstruction for my service, you remove. If you think that removing will help me, please do that. But my more worry is, how can I please you and your representatives? Now, directly I cannot please you. Directly I can please the representatives. Through that representatives, I can please you. Now, that is the real state. Through that state, when external material disturbances are reduced or stopped, when the internal consciousness is improved or developed, then this is the moment where you will perceive the presence of the soul. Let's say if I am seeing the mirror, I am seeing my face. But I'm not trying to see the person behind that face. Now, spirituality begins through that step, trying to see the person behind that face. If a person is frustrated, it is not that the body or that person is frustrated, it is the consciousness which is there in his heart is frustrated. Now, that is the whole point. He did the 3-day yatra on consciousness. He told us one thing. He said, very beautiful. What he said was, if we really understand or perceive the importance of submission, all these anarthas will fade away just like that. So that submission is really a key, which Arjuna did, which Prahlad Maharaj did to Narada Muni. Oh, he was very submissively hearing. Please understand that Narada Muni was not even telling that you, Prahlad Maharaj, be submissive. No, he was actually speaking. And that child was there in the mother's womb, Kayadu's mother's womb, is there. Kayadu's womb is there. Kayadu was not hearing because Kayadu was thinking about her husband. Oh, where is my husband? What is he doing? Oh, when will he come? When will I go? How many days I should stay here? Kayadu was thinking in these lines. But the person who is there in Kayadu's womb, he is not thinking like that. He is thinking whatever Narada Muni is telling. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. is getting everything. It's very powerful. That means the consciousness is people don't understand this. How is this a person is inside mother's womb? How can he understand? What is this all? I mean, person doesn't even know. Does he understand the language of Narada Muni? Did he went to school? So many intellectual questions will come. But if one person is actually seeing through the consciousness, he'll understand. How this person understood everything? That means what is that submission? That submission is the greatest key, greatest source of hope, dear devotees, through which we can really go far beyond this bodily conception. Because the mentality is what? Just to submit to them. Now, through which what is happening? Unimaginable problems. They're removed. Why? Because Lord is actually helping that Jiva so much. The Jiva is very closer to the Lord now. Now, another important aspect. Devotional life is meant to do devotion, not to come out of this problem, that problem. And that problem, we will be kept in such a state that the problems will be seen very slow, very small. The problem might still be pursued, but we are not affected to that. No, that is more important than mere removal of these problems. Our removal of problems will not help us because another problem will come. Retaining strength to come out of those problems, even though the problems are there, that is important. That means one's consciousness should be elevated in such a way that the problems are there, but his mental, his plane is different. Pursuing of things are different. Krishna wanted to give Arjuna that. Srila Prabhupada, his wonderful followers, they wanted to give us that. And for that, he gave his life. Because he understands. Without this, there is no solace in this world. What kind of solace we can get in this world? We cannot get. Nobody can give solace for us. Only this bona fide authorized process can give solace. The personalities, exalted spiritual masters, those personalities, their presence will give us real shelter. Matra sparshassu kaunteya sita ushna sukha dukkada. Agamam painam anityam tanti dvisvasu bharata. A sober person will understand, I'm not this. I'm a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. I'm my master's servant. My acharya, my spiritual masters, I'm their servant. I'm not independent of them. I'm dependent on them. It is through their mercy. It is through their vision we are actually perceiving. Because the consciousness is internal. It's here. Now when you sleep, you get dreams. Who is doing that? Did your body went outside and then figured out what's happening? No. It's in the consciousness. It's the soul who is perceiving it. It's the soul who is active. No, we might not hear externally, but it will hear. Likewise, when the child is growing in the mother's womb, when the mother is continuously hearing Shravana, the Shravana goes to the soul. Because yesterday I met this very small child, just like this is the age of Sankirtana Priya. It's here. It's a very interesting child. The child doesn't want to stop. I was trying to take care of the child for 15 minutes. The parents were eating prasad, their neighbor. Parents were eating prasad. I wanted to take care of that child for 15 minutes. The child will want to rush, want to run here and there. But the moment I started chanting Hare Krishna, the child stopped. Child started reciprocating to that. Those children are not normal children. Those children came through nice samskaras. They're Vaikuntha children actually. Now, who is that stopping? The child wanted to go, wanted to climb the stairs. When we chanted, she was also trying to chant, trying to turn back and then see. Now, I don't have very nice tone also, but they respond. I felt so happy seeing the child responding nicely. Because everyone will get that shelter. Everyone is looking for that. Everyone wants, because the soul, property of the soul is that wants to be happy. No, this is a core reason behind about this. Why every person in this world wants to be happy. Because that is a sign of the soul. That is actually the presence of the soul. Consciousness means to be happy. But this is in the material world, right? It is perverted. In the spiritual plane, they get happiness by practicing Krishna consciousness. But as is perverted, right? It's changed. So what is happening here? They try to get happiness through the senses, through money. It's temporary happiness. Now, what is that yielding? It is not yielding anything, but the happiness is there. That means, see, the consciousness, the soul is actually continuously looking for that happiness. It's not devoid of that. It continuously looks. If there is happiness, if there is no happiness here, then it will go to something else. Because it is trying to find that ground. Until that ground is found, it will look for that. Once the ground is found, it will go deep. Because the happiness has to continuously enhance. Now, after 3 days, I feel, after 3 days completed. 3 days done. So the submission is so much power. Yes, lot of power. Following the words of Srila Prabhupada, the spiritual masters. So rejuvenating, enlivening. Why? Because you see the life of Arjuna, so many difficulties. He just turned to the Lord with utmost submission. And this is the key to realize, go beyond the presence of this bodily consciousness, bodily conception of life, and then attain this, go to the spiritual realm and practice pure devotional service. Once the sadhaka, he connects, he submits, he surrenders, then all of these things will manifest. No, up until that point of time, we should see what best can be done through my way, through my own process, through my own taking up the science. This is what we need to ask. Srila Prabhupada is telling here, right? What is he telling? So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have spiritual bodies in the next life. Because they did everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Any man was a perfect knowledge of constitution of the individual soul, the super soul, and the nature of nature, both material and spiritual, is called as a dhira. Such a man is never deluded by change of bodies. It's not easy to advance. For example, immediately some big hurt came to this body. We cannot accept that. It's difficult. Little discomfort. If it is hot, if there is no AC, you feel discomfort. Cannot tolerate this body. If these little discomforts are not tolerated, how can we tolerate the end of this life? As the sadhakas don't give importance to this, what generally happens is, as importance to these activities are not given, then what happens is importance to the material plane activities are given. That means we dwell in that. That's so the process of practice, let's do this, some material, some spiritual, some material, some spiritual. That's how it came actually. Earlier it was all material, but now little spiritual added. So some material, some spiritual, some material, some spiritual. Then this spiritual thing is enhanced or intensified. By the mercy of the spiritual master, what happens is this materialism will diminish. Now that has to come. If that is not there, then the consciousness is not pure. The consciousness is not pure. It cannot perceive the presence of the Lord. Forget about the Lord. It cannot perceive the presence of the soul. If it cannot perceive the presence of the soul, it cannot perceive the presence of the spiritual master or his words. Then it cannot even perceive the presence of the Lord. So that change in the state of our seeing things has to be applied. But whatever we are observing, that is very important. Where is our thought process? Where am I thinking? What am I doing? This is what matters. Hare Krishna. So I'll continue the discussion. I'll stop it here. If anyone has any reflections, any questions to ask?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Amma Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, very important verse today, and discussed so well. And I like Prabhuji the way you discuss that the body is temporary and the soul is permanent. But still, why we are putting tilak in our body? Because our super soul, Krishna, is inside in this body. So that's why we are putting tilak. So that's that I like very much this one, Prabhuji. And also Srila Prabhupada says about like we have to take care of our body because if we take good care of our body, then we're able to serve the Lord to please the Guru. And Prabhuji, also as you discuss about that purification of the consciousness, as Prabhu says, Chittodarpanam Archanam, this purification is so important so that our viewpoint will change. Suppose, as for example, when you said I was seeing a woman, like we are seeing it because our we cannot stop seeing that thing. I mean, the opposite sex or anything, opposite gender. But with the purification of our consciousness, our viewpoint can change. Suppose, as Prabhupada, all the named all the Matajis, like Matajis. So with that viewpoint, you will say, oh, they are the Matajis. They are the property of Krishna. So that way our viewpoint will change, and through purification of our consciousness, and for that we need the association of gurus, and we need to surrender to our guru, and association of like-minded devotees is very important. And also you mentioned in other classes like whom we are associating, we have to also check, or from whom we are hearing how their lifestyle is, how they are doing their bhakti. Those are very important. So Prabhuji, thank you so much for that. Definitely I should apply those teachings in my life every day, day-to-day life. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It is a It's a great opportunity for each and every one of us to really take this science on a deeper level, because we have no idea when we came, who we are, why we are kept in this state, what kind of relationship with we have with our spiritual master, with our spirit, with Srila Prabhupada. We have no clue actually. We have no clue actually. Because they give us everything. They give us full realization. We have that faith and wisdom. But all this is manifesting because of their presence. Then we go to different heights. Because what is happening is slowly, our presence is diminished. When our presence is diminished, what happens is we don't react that much with this external world. We take that as is. The situation can we accept it. Without the presence of the Lord, nothing will happen. Let me accept this. So, like that, every state we are actually accepting things as is, as they are. Just like Prahlad Maharaj was accepting every difficulty. When Holika came to burn off Prahlad Maharaj was telling his father, no, please don't do this. You can put me, but don't bring your sister in this. Because unnecessarily she'll be burnt off. He pleads his father, please don't do this. Wouldn't hear. Now, a question will come, why we don't hear? Yesterday also I was discussing with a devotee. I was telling, this would be a great thing in your life if you take this approach, if you take this step. You will reach different heights in your consciousness if you take this step. It is not in a position to do. That means we have so many connections in this world. The Hrudaya Granthi is very deep. The knots are deep in this world. So to remove that knot is difficult. It's not easy. The knots are very difficult. The mind will not listen. The intelligence will not listen. I always think about this. The pure souls, especially when I see my spiritual master, his life, the way how he deals with the devotees, is something extraordinary. Because if a devotee is not listening, if not hearing, at times that will happen. Still he's showing patience. He's not putting them down. He's very gentle to them. At times he will put them. At times he will use harsh. He'll use heavy statements if it is required. But he will never allow him to go away from the association. So he will do everything so that person can stay. And then somehow he does Shravana Kirtan and then do some service. Because he understands whoever does this Shravana Kirtana, actually his lifespan, that time is actually extended when he does it very sincerely. Because dear devotees, I was just thinking and just reflecting why he did this 3-day thing. Because it's so important to understand why these pure souls are giving so much importance to the consciousness. Can't we just do like this? Can't we just read? Can't we just do once a month or once a year thing? Why we should do this every day? Why the consciousness has to be checked? Because the consciousness is very dynamic, as I said in the class. The bodily changes are very limited. It is changing, body is changing. 20 years ago, we are not like this. But the change is slow, but the consciousness change is very fast, very dynamic. The consciousness to engage in sense gratification changes like this. Before 1 second, the sadhaka was in the state and those gopi Bhartur come over das. After 1 minute, the consciousness is changed. I am the enjoyer. What is this? It's contrasting elements, two contrasting things are happening at the same moment. How is this? Who is doing this? From where this is happening? Why this consciousness is working so dynamically? These are the thoughts. This is what is going in the heart. Why these things are changing like this? We see changes just like that. We see in our consciousness also. If we are really checking, we see that change हो रहा है. अरे अभी ये है. We are like this. We are like that. Why are these things happening? Because the absorption is not deep. Because we don't want to think about that. Please think about this. Person आ रहा है. So greatest problem. It's like he did not do biggest blunder also. He just kept a dead snake. For that he's asking the Lord, my dear Lord, please give me the greatest suffering. See how are they taking this? The repentance is very deep in the heart. Because when the repentance is deep, that is when we'll actually come out of those things, those difficult states. Now, this is a way to actually submit. Should submit. To the Lord, oh my dear Lord, you gave me everything, but I'm unable to do anything. Please help me. Please help. Please help. The way of submission. Please help. Oh, this state we need to cultivate more. Consciousness is what matters actually. अरे externally कुछ भी करने दो अपन. Whatever we might have done so many things externally. वो कुछ काम का ही नहीं है. क्योंकि external things we don't remember at the time of death. Not only that, I'm just giving an example. External things we don't remember. We don't. For example, if you are not investing your heart and then you have done something, do you remember that? You don't remember. For example, you're texting and your daughter is telling something. You'll not remember. You'll not put focus to your daughter because you're texting. That means your focus is not there. When the focus is not there, that means consciousness is actually not there. The consciousness is not there, then समझ में ही नहीं आएगा. We cannot understand why these things are happening. When the consciousness is not there, we don't understand why this Duryodhana, why is he like this? Why Srila Prabhupada is taking so much trouble? We'll not understand. I don't understand why my spiritual master is taking so much trouble. Because the consciousness is not there. So this thing is so important. And he told, we'll have another consciousness yatra within 3 months. He said this time we'll do 5 days. So he's intensifying. He told this 4 years back only. Because once he crosses 50, his way of seeing Krishna consciousness will change. That's what he told. It's very having pure devotee association is the greatest thing in this world. I'm convinced with that. I don't want anything else. I only came here for that association. Nothing else actually. Anything which I do later, that's only bonus. Only for that association. Only to hear from him. That's why I came actually. I left everything from America because just to want to hear from him. Because I know, I understand, I'm understanding. Parikshit Maharaj, he was relishing so much in that 7 days. No, that is the whole reason why he did not take break for idli, dosa, vada, sambar, upma. Parikshit Maharaj did not take any break for that reason actually. Because his consciousness is relishing. His heart is very happy. This state we need to come. I remember my spiritual master telling every sadhaka who's in the association, he should come to this state. But continuous shanak, he should be absorbed internally. Because that is what is the most important thing. Because what is your state of consciousness depends through that state of consciousness only you'll elevate or degrade at the time of death. Hare Krishna. Thank you. I think I took extra time. Please excuse me. It's a very enlivening experience. Krishna consciousness is a very beautiful translated word. And it's a very dynamic thing. It's like Krishna consciousness. Consciousness is already here. Na? Krishna consciousness is ever changing, ever increasing, ever lasting, ever fresh. If we hear sincerely, we don't get bored. Actually, we feel so much inspired. If you apply all, you'll see much more inspiration. If you feel that relationship, you'll get the nectar. The connection has to be there. The tree has to be the fruit has to be there with the tree. If it is there with the tree, it will get what it has to become. It will become what it has to become. If the fruit is away from the tree, it will not be. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, one question maybe we can discuss tomorrow is pure
Yes.
devotees when they're leaving. Recently Agnidev Prabhu left his body. He was in a coma. So we know for those who have surrendered their life for the Lord, He will make sure that they remember when they're in coma, right? So the
Definitely.
consciousness is not there, but when they leave the body.
Oh, he recently left. I don't know. Agnidev Prabhu left his body recently.
Yes, Prabhuji. He had a stroke, but within one day he passed away. Devotees were chanting with him while he was there, but somehow the consciousness was not there. External consciousness was not there. But I'm sure Krishna has made sure he remembers while he leaves.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing. So, what's your question?
Oh, question is, Prabhuji, today we are discussing about material and spiritual consciousness. And to have that spiritual consciousness while we are leaving the body is what we are preparing for. But we see that exalted souls, sometimes they leave. Externally, we feel that they don't have the consciousness.
We'll discuss. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for